Happening, everyone? Lance Orso here. I wanted to make a little bit of a different video today of what I normally make. Normally, when I make a video or I'm doing something like that, I'm talking about processes and sales and how to move the needle forward and what we're doing in the industry. And the market's really weird right now. It's really tough. I think we're definitely going to see a big uptick mid next year, kind of with the vibe you feel. Everybody, it was an election year, this, and that. So we've heard it a million times. We've been through it. If you've been in this industry long enough, you have been through the crazy ups and downs of an election year. I don't know if automotive gets affected as much as power sports, but, power sports, we know, are toys. They're things you don't have to have in life, but you really want it because it's really cool to have, whether it's, dirt bikes, personal watercrafts, boats, motorcycles, whatever it is. Me predominantly in the motorcycle industry, but I was listening to Garage Composites podcast. Sam Dantzler, I've listened to him for a long time. I really enjoy his content. I really enjoy what he has going on. And I heard right now that competition dirt bike sales are way up, compared to years past, which is massive. That's so huge for the entire power sports industry as a whole. That means parents are, buying dirt bikes for their kids. That means more kids are getting into dirt bikes. And I feel in the years past, after that early 2000s phase, kind of the mid 2000s coming up through, I felt like motocross in general had really dropped off. I was still racing, still riding quite a bit, and I'd go to tracks, and the crowds weren't what they were in the early 2000s. I mean, if you grew up in the amateur motocross scene in the early 2000s, it was so gnarly. Like, it was so loaded up, so many people racing, people were spending money. It was wild. And then after '08, I don't know if it ever fully recovered, but my father works in the industry, works with a lot of tracks and stuff, and he calls me and tells me the amount of people that are showing up for these races. I mean, you've got a race weekend with 800 entries. That's massive. And that just shows that it's healthy. The way I look at that, though, that is a big thing for the future of especially the motorcycle industry, like I'm in, Harley Davidson in particular. Those kids grow up and they're a lot like me. Like, they grow up and they still want to ride the motorcycle, because I'm telling you this: if you start as a young kid at 30 years old, you can still have flashbacks of what it was like at 8 years old in a certain riding situation. I can go back to so many situations in my life of riding motorcycles and remember vividly, like, what happened that day. Motorcycles consume you. It is an addiction. It is something you will never get rid of. I don't care. Trust me. It is the greatest addiction you could ever have. It probably costs more than drugs, though, a lot of times, just straight up. But you're going to continue to want that. These dirt bike kids, you ride with your friends, you grow up doing it. Eventually, someday, whether your body gives up or you realize, at 18, you're never going to be Jet Lawrence, Eli Tomac, or one of those guys. You're never going to be that. That is a very small percentage that get there. And if you do, God, I mean, that's a dream. That is an absolute dream. But that 0.1% of the people that try that actually get that, it's so rare. But those guys want to keep riding with their buddies, keep doing things like that. So they go buy Harleys. They go buy import motorcycles. They go buy sport bikes. That is so huge for the power sports industry that competition dirt bike sales are doing that right now. And that's huge. And, I look also at the electric bikes, the Stasics and those companies right there. We should all be extremely grateful they exist, because it's getting a whole new group of riders into our industry. There's a lot of kids whose parents, live in neighborhoods, and they don't want to make a lot of noise. They got a big backyard and they're like, here, go ride this around the backyard. That grows because eventually they go buy a competition dirt bike, or they take them to a great place like Village Creek Motocross that has a mini cross track where those kids can ride that bike, hone skills, and realize this is what I want to do in life. They're not chasing the team sports. They're not doing this. They're wanting to ride motorcycles. Huge, huge. And that's another thing. Village Creek, we love you. This is all going to work out. they're trying to shut the track down right now. They're going through some legal stuff. Fortunately, I've heard most of what it is due to my father working with them, and it's absolute bullshit. That's the best way to put it. We cannot be losing motocross tracks to just dumb negligence from other people who cannot hold themselves responsible or their children responsible for their own actions. If you make a dumb decision, you get hurt, you have to live with it. Sorry, that's just what it is. If your kid, a teenager, goes out and makes a dumb decision and gets hurt because he was doing something he shouldn't have been doing, you have to live with the repercussions of that. You can't go sue other people and take other people's livelihoods away from them and things that they truly care about. Whole other subject. But motocross is healthy. I absolutely love that because me being in the Harley Davidson industry, that is huge. That is huge because this isn't a job, this is a career. And if you take it serious, and a majority of people in this industry do, it is their career. It isn't just a job for them in their early 20s. We love this industry, and knowing that competition dirt bike sales are up the way they are right now, dude, 20 years from now, it's going to keep going. It's going to keep going. And it's already started. It's already starting to go. Right now, yes, it is slow. We're slow all over the board. We know it. I'm dealing with one of the slowest months I've ever seen, and I'm going to get through it. We're going to get through it, and we're going to create great things. But I'm telling you, it's healthy, it's strong, and hearing Garage Composites talk about that just makes me so excited for the future of our industry. I hope you listen to this, and I hope you focus on this. And the guys in the power sports industry right now, selling to those little kids and families, give them everything. Do your best to give them the best experience because they will stick with you and they will be loyal. I grew up extremely loyal to maybe two dirt bike shops, and it was because I cared about the people in them. They cared about me, and we grew a great relationship that lasted into my early 20s until I literally came to work at a Harley Davidson dealership. We have to do our best. We have to go back. We cannot be focused on transactional sales. We have to be focused on building relationships. Have a good day, everyone.